Welcome to Thani Oruvan program. This Thani Oruvan program, basically what we do, we interview with eminent personalities who have done extremely well in their chosen field. We speak to them, we bring them in front of you, and we are going to share their success stories and how it's going to help you and for your career. So based on that, today I am with one of the dynamic personality who basically on the professional sector, more than 26 years of experience, private sectors and also public, non-profit sector, also the entrepreneur who have run her own company more than 10 years. In the meantime, and she brings a unique combination of experience, having worked more than 12 industries, which including the banking, tea, engineering, retailing, media, social and also market research, agribusiness, food processing, restaurant, social services, green business and also finance and academics. So today I am with Dr. Janaki Kurupu, founder chairperson of Mother Sri Lanka. Doctor, welcome to the show. Thani Oruvan. Thani Oruvan is basically a Tamil word which we say, how we could say that, like a self-made person, and you stand out on yourself as a self-made. So that's a basic translation if I have to translate from English to Tamil. So in that category, we are very glad to have you today for this program, and thank you very much for your time and to participating in this program as well.
Thank you for inviting me.
Doctor, now we know that as a female entrepreneur and also in the public private sector, more than 26 years of experience, would like to know from your own words, and how was your career started with, and how that happened today what you are from your beginning.
Thanks, Ali. See, it is most people we ask at this stage of their life or in career, how did you get into this, how did you, I would say it was not at all planned to go this way. I was studying at the University of Colombo, and then during the JVP troubles the university was closed for about more than 1 year. I was in my 4th year doing a maths special degree. So I was impatient to wait till they opened and till the strikes ended. Okay. So then I transferred to University of Missouri, USA, and finished my bachelor's in mathematics and computer science. Okay. Then went on to do a master's in applied statistics, and came back to Sri Lanka. When we went there, the plan was always to come back to Sri Lanka, but of course the Sri Lankans living in USA at that time told us that we are really stupid to go back to Sri Lanka, you know, you should settle down in the USA, and you know why. But we had that feeling that always this is your country, this is where you are first class citizens. In any other country you will be second class citizens or less than that. So came back and then got my first job. I was lecturing at the Postgraduate Institute of Management, PIM at Jawaharlal, and my son was only like 3 months old. So that time that money was not enough. So because the money we were making was not enough, I wanted to start something of my own. So it just, me becoming an entrepreneur just happened like that because of an economic need, financial need. Thought, okay, doing 2 jobs and making this salary is not enough to live. So there I started a research company. I started a research company at home from one room, office room in my house. And most
this
of the
all
time
happened in Sri Lanka or abroad?
In Sri Lanka. After finishing studies, we came back here. After coming back here only, we found that you can't make a living. I mean, it's not enough to live. You can't make ends meet with the salaries you were getting.
That's right.
So my son was then about 9 months old, and mostly, you know, he was in my lab while I was working on the research company. So formed a research company which grew to become today's Nielsen Lanka. So after, then we went into a joint venture with an Indian company called ORG Mark. So it became ORG Mark Smart. My company was called Smart. And then Nielsen came to India to buy ORG Mark, the whole network. So they made an offer to me, are you interested in selling to Nielsen? If so, we will come to Sri Lanka and set up Nielsen here. Otherwise, they were not interested in coming and setting up on their own. So 10 years I ran that company. By that time it was having about 300 staff and about 100 clients. We were kind of, I would say, the topmost agency in the country. So I thought, okay, what an opportunity to bring Nielsen to Sri Lanka. maybe I can start something on my own someday again. I don't think this kind of opportunity will come again, so I decided to sell. So I sold. Their condition was that I have to sell my equity if they want to, if I want them to come here. It will be 100% owned by Nielsen. So that was the first job, and so sold the company, and then it was not fun. Like you are not, this is not your own company, no. Then you are reporting hundreds of reporting structures, and Indians were overseeing. It's a multinational, owned by the Dutch and managed by the Americans, and reporting to the Indians. All the fun of being an entrepreneur and doing your own thing went away. So that's the time then I sold, and I was the managing director of Nielsen. I was the first managing director of Nielsen Sri Lanka, and left that. Then I thought, okay, where do I go next? So most people do something on works for somebody else and then go and start something on their own. Most people. I have now done something on my own. Now I'm trying to work for somebody else. So I'm going the reverse direction. So I got an offer from Cargill's to come as a group director there. So that's how my experience in retail, restaurants, food processing, all that came through, because a group director, they have so many different diversified industries and companies. I was a group director for all of them, group director, strategic planning and business development. So that was another 4 years. Then I get an offer from that time the president of Sri Lanka, whether I would like to come and work for the government. Right? So then again, now selling my own company and working for somebody else was a big decision. Leaving America and coming to Sri Lanka was a big decision. Now here I am asked to now leave your private sector and come and work for the public sector. Now this also I have never done, and 3 years I thought about it. I mean, can I really survive this? Can I really make something out of this? It's a different culture, different everything, different pay. The salaries were like 1/40th of what I was getting there. So I thought, okay, again, I don't think such an opportunity will come again. A president of your country is inviting you to come and work. Okay, let me take the chance and see. So I joined the government in 2008 after Cargill's, straight from Cargill's, and I worked there till 2015. So that's 7 years. So I think that during my public sector, I started, the first thing I started with Mother Sri Lanka. I'll tell you about why I started that later. While I was doing Mother Sri Lanka throughout my public sector career, and even now I'm continuing, I was appointed as a chairperson of Regional Development Bank. I was the first chairperson, a woman, because I'm the one who merged the 6 banks and set up RDB. So I was given 1 month to merge the 6 banks and set up the new bank and open. I still remember in May 1st only I got the call from the Treasury Secretary at that time, and said I said, I'm in Jaffna, I know you come to Colombo and we'll talk about this. And then by July 16th we opened the bank, after merging 250 branches, 2,500 staff. It is the largest development bank in terms of network. After I set up that and settled down now to enjoy the hard work of setting up a bank, then I was asked to go take over the T-board. So then there I was the first female chairman of the Sri Lanka T-board. So that again another product I love, Ceylon tea. The best brand this country has is still Ceylon tea, I'm telling you. So that was another 3 years there. So did whatever changes I could do there. And after all that, I viewed with all my experience, which one did I enjoy the most. And I found that the work I do with Mother Sri Lanka. So
you did your PhD while you are doing all this
work? Yes, because as soon as I joined the government, I was starting to do a PhD in USA in that time, but then my father passed away, so I had to give it up, and one of the reasons then I didn't want to go back and do it. But when I joined the government sector, I was kind of bored actually, because I'm used to this working like machines. Here, like everybody was coming and going home at 4:30, and like I'm bored, like this is too slow for me. I said, let me go and register for that PhD that I wanted to do someday. But that was before I was appointed the bank chairman and all that. So then it got really, I was doing 3 jobs at the same time. So then it got tough. So as soon as I left the government in 2015, I went and finished my PhD, which was like kind of dragging on. So that's, ticking one by one.
So interesting. Would have been a lot of challenges to come up to this level. Just I would like to go back to the initial statement what you said on your you said you did your A-level maths and from there you did your masters also in the maths. So just I'm trying to link the person who goes in the mathematics, how ended up an entrepreneur or to the retail and to food processing. So how would you like to tell me about that? Because today the people, a lot of people who are the students, even among us, the parents, even they think that the kids, when they start, if somebody starts a science stream, they always perceive their children as only a doctor. They are not ready to accept their as someone else. And what's your thinking about that? The people who are choosing one field and ending up in a different career, how that can impact on someone's life?
Yeah. I really think in our education system we decide too early, because you never know what you will really enjoy doing at the end. So the more you keep it general, the more you keep it open, so that, I mean, a little more like the American system where at the bachelor's level you don't specialize too much. No, in fact, when I transferred, they looked at my transcripts and said, you have done enough mathematics for a master's even, but you have not done any of the general subjects like anthropology, all that I did. So I enjoyed, because that is all I have missed, right? The other subjects, because here is so much that subject specific. No, so then later on you find that, okay, I'm not enjoying it. You have not even tried anything else. So how do you know? How do our kids know really what they will like to do? And lesson of my life is like, take it as it comes, and okay, now this opportunity has come, let me try that, like that I went. Of course the plan was I have to be financially independent whatever I'm doing, so that I have to make sure I'm comfortable, I have a comfortable living, and that was the only one goal that was there throughout.
How about the parents interference in that base?
Doing mathematics was a problem. I mean, my school said during the time we were studying, they didn't have a maths stream. So they said, girls can't do maths, why don't you do bio, just give it up. I just liked maths, I didn't. So the principal said, no, you can't. In this school we don't have the maths stream. So actually I didn't give up. My father got tutors to come home and teach me double maths, and that's how I got in. So I got into the university. So there again was problem, how can you go to this university, there's ragging, and you will not enjoy it, So all that we were trying to, I pushed myself through, because thinking this is the field to go, mathematics.
So what kind of a support probably we might need from the parents for that kind of a situation? Now see, today the parents, they perceive their kids like this, and also the children, they choose another field. Later on they become someone else. How the parents going to react to that? So I'm going to come back to that question again after a soon break. So I'm with Dr. Janaki Kurupu. We are talking about a lot of academics and also a lot of experience, women in entrepreneurship also. Stay with me, I'm coming after a break. Welcome back to Thani Oruvan. I'm with Dr. Janaki Kurupu. Doctor, now we were talking about the parents' influence when it's come to choosing education. What's your opinion about it?
In fact, under Mother Sri Lanka, we conduct a program called Future Forum, where the title was, how do I select a higher education path for my child? And then we found out we were going to do it for the parents. Then we found out that it's actually now more children's decision, and it's like parents' influence is like, say, 20%, and the child is designing around. But in our time, it was parents had a much bigger role to play. So again, I'll say you should let the child decide more or less on what to do, because our time, yes, everybody was looking to make their children become doctors or engineers and all that. It has changed a lot now, and there are so many other new fields that have opened up, but the competition is there among parents to, my child is going to do that, or what did he get for A levels, what is that comparison and competition among other families, that is very high, and the children are so stressed. I mean, we work with children all the time under my Mother's Lanka program. They are so stressed. We had stress relieving programs for the children. I mean, it has gone to that extent. So it should be a balanced thing. The child may not really know what they like. You have to decide this around O-level time, no? A-level also, by A-level you have already picked some, and in Sri Lanka, in the higher education sector, there is very little chance for you to change. If you decide, if you do maths and then go to do engineering, and then you find out I don't like this or I can't do this, changing into arts or business is very difficult in the government university system. You can't actually do it, you know.
Correct.
So you have to then start from scratch again in another. So I think parents should see what the child is good at. They would know by that time, and then advise them. I think my advice is, this is what you should do. I mean, this is, and then let the child also play a role in that final decision. But parents will be, other someday will say, you know, why didn't you tell me? You know, I went and did this and now I messed up. You should have told. We can, the children can say that also. You never told me. You know, if you give the total freedom to them. But I think let them 50-50 or something. Like that. And you know, I had a lot of things. So I was told not to do maths, and then you know.
So what was your dream at the time when you choose the maths field and you want to become?
I told you, I just did it because I like maths.
You like maths?
Yeah,
so there's no specific.
Most people hated maths.
I know.
So I just and I was getting good marks and I enjoyed it. So then I did physical science in the university. I didn't go to engineering. I didn't have enough marks actually to go into Sri Lanka's engineering faculty. So then I thought, okay, this is even better, because then you statistics, and you know, you become more of a you know, where you can work in a office kind of thing. So that time, how can girl be in engineering, and it will be again difficult. That thinking was there.
Right.
But now you have, you know, aerospace,
correct.
you know, people who are women.
And also we also need a little bit of a streamlined system in our education system, where it not giving more stress to students, kids.
That is, because see, we should have some minimum mark and say that's you have passed. You know, you have passed the A-levels. So everybody who has passed should be able to get into some kind of higher education institute. You know, so from the marks and from which university you get your degree, later on you will be judged, okay, this person has got a degree from here, this person has got from here. So we will know finally why are we studying. It is 99% to get a job. No?
Correct.
I mean, right. So when you go to the job interview, you should see what really matters. You know,
exactly,
it's not your level results so much, or you know, these things doesn't matter. So even the university here doesn't matter so much. We are looking at the degree, and so but then we just kill ourselves. We kill our children also trying to pass the O levels and A levels in stress. But the balance, I mean, I didn't have a plan. This is why I am doing maths. Honestly, if you ask me, no, I didn't have a plan. I went to do a master's in maths also after doing a bachelor's, and then I realized, you know, I'm never going to be using this in real life. That was too abstract, and that's a change to statistics, which is more used in, you know, day-to-day life.
All right, and also just now we have seen you in your Sri Lanka T-board, Ceylon T-board, we call as a first female chairperson. During past regime time, and what was the key development at the time you all had? Because I have another question also. The tea board always in the limelight when you come to the garment sectors, the tea board, and I mean we know the tea exporters and how the international market for it, and recently there was a lot of issues of the tea. So that I'm asking, from during your period, what kind of a development you did as, I mean, you entered as the first female chairperson, how the challenge was there, what kind of a development you did in terms of developing the sector?
Tea should be in the limelight in the country, I think, all the time, because firstly, Ceylon tea is the #1 brand of Sri Lanka, and more people know Ceylon tea than Sri Lanka. Now, there's still a disconnect between Sri Lanka and Ceylon tea as well. They don't know also that's from Sri Lanka, but most people know Ceylon tea, generations across. The other reason is that sector employs about 10% of the country's population. You know, about 2 million people are engaged in the sector. So therefore, that should be in the limelight, also looking after the employment of people and so on. So what I did was this, when I landed there as a chairperson, okay, this is the topmost brand, and among other tea brands in the world, we are saying ours is the best. So I call it the Ferrari of tea, you know, among all, you know, others have Nissans and Toyotas. So we have the Ferrari. So then we should have that image, no, I mean, we should maintain that image. We already had the image. So I did lot of things too. So we can't sell on price point. It's a premium brand. Ceylon tea is a premium brand compared to Kenyan tea or a Chinese
Correct.
tea or a Indian tea. So a premium product will have to have that story and that romance and that image going with it. No, because that's tea. It's a tea. You know, it's just a very basic everyday product, mundane product. But if you are going to sell this high priced brand, then we have to create a story around. So I did a lot. First I looked around Colombo. There are enough and more coffee places. Even in Laksala, there's a barista. So I mean, because we are promoting coffee and a foreign brand, when we have Ceylon tea and we don't have enough tea places in the city of Colombo. So we are now promoting tourism. We are expecting millions of tourists to come. So when they land here, they will be looking for. So I have come to the land of Ceylon tea. I don't see Ceylon tea, you know, enough. So I told the private sector, start some tea bars, tea lounges, so that people can experience this, because we have to make it an experience.
That's right.
Unforgettable experience for the tourists when they come here. So private sector challenged me and said, no, you can't do this. It's not profitable. You can't make it economically viable. Tea lounges are not good for business. I mean, in the sense, it's not profitable. I said, okay, I'll do one and show you all that it can be done profitably. So then at least you can follow. So Ceylon Tea Moments was opened in the at Racecourse in 2014 April. That is the first tea lounge owned by the tea board.
Oh, okay, fine.
And that after that, I have just counted, there are about more than 10 tea places have come up.
Okay.
You know, so we started. Unfortunately, the new government came and closed it down, saying they don't know how to run it. The management was given to Sri Lankan Catering. The tea board can't run a hospitality business. So that was one thing I did, create this experience about Ceylon tea.
Okay.
Then the other thing, I also went and sponsored the Sri Lanka cricket team. I don't know, because that was again a big fight, because I found this disconnect between Sri Lanka and Ceylon.
Ceylon, that's so
your
I
main
thought,
concern.
Yes.
Sri Lanka team, or they are wearing Ceylon tea, you know, so some way to get some connection that this is the same country, and cricket and tea are again some things we are really proud of, no?
Yes.
And by that time, Sri Lanka was famous for bomb blast and terrorists and blood and tears and violence. So here we are bringing some positive things.
Correct.
Here's the same country has Ceylon tea, has Sri Lanka cricket. You know, we were trying to bring out the positives about the country. So that.
So you always try to work with the Sri Lanka and the Ceylon tea merge together to people to perceive that Sri Lanka is for Ceylon tea.
Yeah.
Because two different names, then again Ceylon and the Sri Lanka.
Yeah, country change the name. No? So there was always this ongoing debate whether we should change Ceylon tea also to Sri Lanka tea. I don't think that's a good thing at all, because Ceylon tea is so, and even if country is having a negative image sometimes, hopefully Ceylon tea will survive.
Survive, correct. Yes. Stay tuned. Let's meet after a break. Welcome back to the show. I am with Dr. Janaki Korapu, Chairperson, Sri Lanka, Mother Sri Lanka. Well, we are talking about the tea board, and also we were trying to, you were trying to say how you are trying to connect the Ceylon tea and the Sri Lanka. That was the first challenge that you started with. So what are the other challenges?
I think the other thing I found that they just the team spirit, the productivity of the staff itself was very low, and they were just doing it for the sake of doing a job and used to a particular way of working. And so I basically had to turn this upside down. I mean, I put them into team. I did the outbound training for the staff and had a tea board day. Yes. So still they are celebrating the tea board day once a year for the management and others to get together, because you have to work as a team. And then in government regulatory authorities like this, there is no top line and bottom line. No. I mean, when you have those, it's very easy to set some targets and go. Here we are a regulatory body. We are not supposed to be making money and all that. So there was like you know, just very lethargic this thing. So I put some targets to them. In fact, I said, you know, tea board has a revenue earning model, which is we have to give the export licenses. We give every tea sample that is exported has to be tested by the tea board and approved, and we do a random check. So there are income earning avenues. So I said, okay, from this income we can actually earn to cover all our expenses of the tea board. And I used to tell the treasury, if you want, I don't need anything from the treasury, I can make this break even and run, no. So I was told, no, these are not businesses, you are not supposed to run this as well. But those setting those targets to the staff motivated them, and I said, if you all perform, I'll give you a reward for this, and kind of got the staff all excited. Then our office was also pathetic, seriously, because we are saying Ferrari of tea, and all the foreign buyers and everybody come and visit the tea board's office, and it's like, is this your head office kind of thing? So also gave it a good look, so that everybody will be proud to come, especially the foreign buyers. So